Very good morning, students. This is our fourth lecture about current electricity, and in previous lectures we have discussed about three important parts of the given chapter. Now the first important part is Kirchhoff's law. There Kirchhoff's law of junction and Kirchhoff's law of potential difference. They are very important part of the given chapter. And after that we have discussed one another important part from this chapter, that is meter bridge. It means that Wheatstone's network and their applications. So after that Wheatstone's network, that is meter bridge, Kelvin's method. So we have discussed the third and important point from this chapter, and this point is potentiometer, their principle and their uses. How to compare the EMF of two cell by using direct method and sum and difference method. And after that we are compare the we are determine the internal resistance of the given cell by using the potentiometer. So these are very important uses of potentiometer. We are already discussed in last lecture. Actually we know that this total chapter is divided between four parts. Their first part is Kirchhoff's law, second part is Wheatstone's network, their third part is potentiometer. So I think so some important remaining points about potentiometer is remaining. So we are continue these remaining points according to this lecture, and after that we have discussed their fourth important part from this chapter is galvanometer. Okay, so let's continue the remaining points about potentiometer. So today we have discussed applications of potentiometer, and after that their advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so let's discuss the applications of potentiometer. So this is very important concept. Actually their uses we are already discussed in previous lecture, and today we have discussed some applications of potentiometer theoretically. And their first important application we have discussed here, that is potentiometer is a voltage divider. Okay, so this is first important application about potentiometer, that is voltage divider. So it means that potentiometer is work as a voltage divider. So how they work as a voltage divider, so we are discuss here. So actually we know that potentiometer is a long wire, 2 to 10 meter long, and imagine that this is a wire. Okay, and this wire will be denoted by AB. AB is the potentiometer wire. So their end A is connected to the positive terminal of cell. Their resistance will be denoted by R. This is the cell E, positive and negative terminal, and whose negative end is connected to the B. Okay, so their positive terminal, imagine that, is connected to the device. Okay, this is a device, and the another end of the device is connected to the slider, and we know that this slider means what? That is Neff edge key, it means jockey. Okay, so we know that the total length of the potentiometer wire, so this length will be denoted by capital L. So simply their total potential will be denoted by VAB. VAB is the total potential of the potentiometer wire AB right now. And this, with the help of this device, now we just trying to divide the voltage between the wire AB. It means that we are divide the potential difference between the wire AB. So just imagine that the total potential passing through the wire is near about 10 volt. Imagine the 10 volt of potential difference is passing through the wire AB. But when the slider jockey is sliding over the wire AB, and if they touches at the point of C, and just imagine that the length of the wire AC will be denoted by L1, whose potential will be denoted by VAC, and length of the wire CB, so this is denoted by L2, whose potential will be denoted by CB. Okay, and if the jockey touches at the point of C, we are observe the same out of 10, so their potential will be denoted by near about 6 volt. Imagine that. So definitely the remaining potential will be denoted by 4 volt. It means that through the slider, now easily the potential difference will be divided by using the potentiometer. It is very simple. Actually this is activity based experiment, and this activity we are already performing in physics laboratory. That's why it is very easy. In physics laboratory we have discussed the same about activity. we are check the potential difference between the different lengths on the potentiometer wire, and we are observe the same at every length the potential difference will be difference. So it means that easily we are divide the potential difference by using the potentiometer. So this is first application about potentiometer. So potentiometer is a voltage divider, and after that their second important application, is a potentiometer as a audio control device. Okay, so potentiometer is a audio control device. So potentiometer is also used in audio control system. So actually the slider potentiometer, this is the slider potentiometer, and this slider potentiometer is commonly used in modern low power audio system, and this audio system is basically used as a audio control device. So in both potentiometers are always used in the audio control devices, like slider potentiometer and also the rotatory potentiometer. So we know that rotatory potentiometer, so this potentiometer is used for the audio control. Right now in radio, in CD player, we are discussed the same, their circular button, okay, their circular knob, if they rotate, and with the help of this we are control the sound, we are control the audio. So this is one type of potentiometer, and this is rotatory potentiometer. This rotatory and slider potentiometer is also used for the audio control. Okay, so this is second and important application of potentiometer. So potentiometer is a audio control, and after that the same potentiometer is used as a sensor. Okay, so potentiometer is a sensor. So why the how to work the potentiometer as a sensor? So actually we know that, let's see, this is a potentiometer. Actually potentiometer, what is this? It is a wire. Okay, potentiometer is the wire, and it will be connected to the battery, that is key, and many more right now. And we know that actually their end A will be connected to the galvanometer, okay, and their another end will be connected to the slider, that is jockey. Just imagine that this slider is connected to the moving part of the machine. Okay, so if this slider is connected to the moving part of the machine, now simply this moving part of the machine is totally work as a sensor. It means that this potentiometer is work as a sensor. Okay, so let's see once again. If this slider is connected to the moving part of the machine, now this potentiometer is work as a sensor. Now these three applications of potentiometer. So potentiometer is a voltage divider, potentiometer is an audio control device, and potentiometer is a sensor. Okay, so after that we have discussed one another remaining point about this third concept, that is potentiometer. So advantages of potentiometer over a voltmeter. So let's discuss about advantages of potentiometer. So what is the advantages? Let's see. Advantages of potentiometer over a voltmeter. Okay, so let's discuss the advantages of potentiometer. What is their advantages and disadvantages? So initially we have discussed their merits. Okay, it means what? It means simply advantages. Okay, their importance. So what is the advantages of potentiometer? So actually you know that the first and very important that is merits, according to merits about potentiometer. So potentiometer is a very sensitive. It is a very sensitive device as compared to the voltmeter. Now because with the help of this potentiometer we are measure a very small amount of potential difference and also their EMF right now. So this is first important merits about potentiometer. It is a more sensitive as compared to the voltmeter. And second merits, we know that with the help of this potentiometer we are measure the potential difference and also the EMF of cells right now. But by using the voltmeter is measured only the terminal potential difference, but they cannot measure the EMF of a cell right now. So this is an important merit about potentiometer. So we are measure the potential difference as well as EMF. Okay, and after that let's see the third merit. So this potentiometer is more accurate as compared to the voltmeter. Now with the help of potentiometer, accurately we are measure the potential difference between any two points on the given circuit, because they cannot draw any electric current. And we know that when the voltmeter is connected between any circuit, they draw some electric current. That's why the potentiometer is more accurate as compared to the voltmeter. So that's why potentiometer is a ideal voltmeter. And one other merits are very important. Now with the help of this potentiometer, we detect a very small amount of potential, that is near about 10 raised to power minus 6 volt. That is very small amount of potential difference will be measured with the help of potentiometer. So it means that their least count is also small as compared to the voltmeter. So these are the merits. Okay, these are the merits about potentiometer. And after that, we have discussed their demerits. It means their drawbacks. Okay, so what is their drawbacks? So only one drawback about potentiometer. So with the help of potentiometer, we cannot take direct readings. But we know that voltmeter, if the voltmeter is connected, we see the direct reading on the voltmeter. But here, according to the potentiometer, so potentiometer is not a portable device. It means that it is not a very small device. Okay, but voltmeter is also portable. So this is only one demerits about potentiometer. Okay, so I think so you get the total idea about potentiometer. Now between the previous lectures and this lecture, we have discussed about potentiometer. So their principle, okay, that is very important part, that is principle. After that, you remember that their uses, and their first use we have discussed to compare the EMF of cell by using direct method and sum and difference method. And after that, we are determined the internal resistance of cell. And finally, we have discussed their applications, their merits and demerits right now. So this is the third important part from this chapter, potentiometer. Their third part is over. Okay, actually when we discuss about current electricity, you remember that in last NEET exam about medical, so near about 5 questions are asking on the same chapter, current electricity, in NEET 2020. So that's why you remember that this chapter is very essential as compared to NEET. Not only 2020, so 2019, 2018, near about 3 or 4 questions are asking on the same chapter, current electricity. That's why there every concept according to NEET examinations it is very important. Okay, so I hope to understand these are very important concepts about current electricity. And after that, we have discussed their last and important point from this chapter, that is fourth part of the given chapter is galvanometer. Okay, so I can drop this part from this chapter. That is very important part from this chapter is galvanometer. These are the fourth and very important remaining point from the chapter current electricity, that is galvanometer. So what is actual galvanometer? So we know that in Wheatstone's network or the different applications, that is uses of potentiometer, we are good familiar about galvanometer because we are already this galvanometer used on the physics laboratory, and with the help of this we are measure some amount of potential difference or definitely the electric current. So galvanometer is a device, and with the help of this we are measure a very small amount of electric current in a given circuit right now. So it means that very weak electric current we are measure with the help of galvanometer. This galvanometer is totally work on the basis of a coil, and this coil is also pivoted type and also the suspended type. Okay, so moving coil galvanometer, that is galvanometer, is totally depends upon a coil. Okay, and this coil is also pivoted or the suspended type. And how they work and how to measure the electric current, we have discussed just very easily how to work the galvanometer. So we can draw the rough diagram about galvanometer. Actually we know that this galvanometer is totally depends upon the coil. Okay, so this galvanometer, it has a rectangular coil. So we can draw the rectangular coil here. So imagine that this is a rectangular coil. Okay, and this rectangular coil having n number of turns. This rectangular coil having n number of turns. So let's see, this is the n number of turns of the rectangular coil, and this rectangular coil is wound on the non-magnetic material, and they having a cylindrical core, okay, iron core at the center, and imagine that this is denoted by C. You get it? Now their top end of the rectangular coil is totally connected to the pointer. So this is the pointer of the galvanometer, and this pointer represents the reading with the help of the scale mark. So at the center there are 0, so this is 10, this is 20, and this is 30 mark reading. So the same on the right hand side, that is 10, that is 20, and here 30. Okay, so their last end of the rectangular coil is connected to the helical spring. Okay, the phosphorus bronze helical spring. This helical spring, that is spiral spring, is made by the phosphorus bronze wire, and this total arrangement are fixed between two horseshoe magnets. So imagine that there are two horseshoe magnets. They produces the strong uniform magnetic field between them, that is the N pole, and this is the L pole of horseshoe magnets. Okay, so after that, let's see here how to work. So if this rectangular coil having a iron core and they present between the uniform magnetic field, let's see here, this coil will be denoted by P, Q, R, S, and we know that very well. The wire PQ and SR, this wire PQ and SR is the parallel to the magnetic field. Okay, they are on the same direction on the magnetic field. It means that they cannot experience any force. But let's see the wire PS and QR, they are perpendicular to the uniform magnetic field. Magnetic field moving in the given direction. Okay, and their wire PS and QR is perpendicular to the magnetic field, and we know that very well. If any wire, if any conductor is kept in uniform magnetic field and if they are perpendicular, so they experience the maximum force. So it means that this coil PS, wire PS and QR, they experience the force but exactly equal and opposite, and normally it will be deflected. Okay, and if they deflects, now simply their pointer will be deflected. Okay, and if the pointer will be deflected, we show the reading. So it means that the electric current passing through the galvanometer. So let's see one another way. If the electric current passing through the rectangular coil, now the spring will be twisted. Okay, the spring will be twisted when the electric current passing through them, and if the spring twisted, now at the exactly same time the pointer of the galvanometer will be deflected. Okay, so it means that their deflection is directly proportional to the electric current. If the electric current passing, so then after it will be deflected, so their deflection is directly proportional to the electric current. And just imagine that their electric current will be cut off, their spring will be loosed, and the pointer will regains back to their original position. And if again electric current passing, so spring will be twisted. So how many amount of electric current passing, so that depends upon the spring will be twisted, and this shows the particular reading, and at this reading we are observe the same, that amount of electric current passing through the galvanometer, and we are easily measure with the help of this scale, with the help of this pointer. Okay, so these are very easy construction of a galvanometer right now, and with the help of this we are measure a very small amount of electric current. Actually this is the rough diagram about galvanometer, but according to board examination you refer only the diagram they used in the test book, government test book right now. So this diagram is definitely 100% correct, but according to board examination you refer this diagram. This is only understanding base how to work the galvanometer. You remember that? Okay, so this is very short method about galvanometer. So construction, their working, so all that we are discussed according to this point. But again remember that only the very small, that is weak electric current we are measure with the help of galvanometer. But what happen if their range will be increases? Due to the very small modification, now easily galvanometer is converted into the ammeter, and also which is converted into the voltmeter. So how galvanometer work as a ammeter and how the galvanometer is work as a voltmeter. So this concept we are discuss according to the next point from this chapter. So voltmeter, the next concept from this chapter, galvanometer as an ammeter. Okay, galvanometer as an ammeter. So actually we know that ammeter is an instrument, it is a device, and with the help of this we are measure the electric current due to very large amount. Okay, so the large amount of electric current we are measure with the help of ammeter, and we know that with the help of galvanometer we are measure a very small amount of electric current. So how to galvanometer work as ammeter? It means very easy. Now due to the modification, due to the very suitable modification of galvanometer, so galvanometer work as an ammeter. So due to this modification, now first of all we increase the range of the galvanometer. It means that their capacity will be increases, their large amount of electric current will be passing. Okay, just see here, imagine that this is a galvanometer. Let's imagine this is a galvanometer and whose resistance will be denoted by G. Okay, and let's see here, this is galvanometer. Okay, and we know that this galvanometer detect very weak electric current, very small amount of electric current. So initially we are discuss here, so what happened there, due to the modification the large amount of electric current will be passing through them. So it is a very simple way to increase their capacity of electric current. Now simply the resistance will be decreases. When the resistance decreases, now the electric current will be increases. Electric current is totally depends upon resistance. If the resistance increases, so current will be decreases, and if the resistance decreases, so current will be increases. So it means that initially we are decreases the total resistance of the galvanometer, and if their resistance will be decreases, so automatically the electric current, their range will be increases. So that's why initially we are connected here a resistance. Okay, it is a resistance R, imagine that, and this resistance are connected in series with a galvanometer. When the resistance, that is imagine that it is a one type of resistance and this resistance are connected in series, and you remember that if the resistance are connected in series, so that decreases their resistance. Okay, so it means that this galvanometer and this resistance are connected in series, so definitely their resistance will be decreases, and when the resistance will be decreases and electric current will be increases, because electric current is depends upon resistance decreases, so the electric current will be increases. The large amount of electric current I will be passing through the galvanometer. But again you remember that when the large amount of electric current passing through the galvanometer, so their coil will definitely damage. It is possibility to damage the coil of moving coil galvanometer, because with the help of this we are measure the very small amount of electric current, and if the resistance are connected in series with the galvanometer, the range of the electric current will be increases, and when the large amount of electric current will passing through them, simply it is possibility to damage the coil of galvanometer. So that's why now we are connected a one another a low resistance in parallel. Okay, so one another low resistance, that is shunt resistance. This shunt resistance is connected in parallel with the moving coil galvanometer. If the low resistance are connected in parallel with the moving coil galvanometer, so what happened there? Through the resistance, if the resistance of the galvanometer decreases, the large amount of electric current I will be passing through them right now. But when this electric current is reaches at the point of junction, now simply this electric current I will split between two direction. Okay, the some electric current will passing through the galvanometer, so this is denoted by Ig, and the remaining electric current is moving to the shunt resistance, so this electric current will be denoted by Is. And if the electric current will be split, the large amount of electric current will be passing through the shunt resistance, and the Ig, that is a small amount of electric current, is also passing through the galvanometer. It means that when the shunt resistance is connected parallel with moving coil galvanometer, it will protect it for the damage right now. And simply the same Is with the electric current will passing through them. Now here the Ig will be electric current, and finally I be the electric current is definitely there. So this total arrangement, okay, let's see their total arrangement is a modification of galvanometer. So galvanometer work as an ammeter. So let's see the simple concept. When the shunt resistance, that is low resistance, when the shunt resistance is connected parallel with moving coil galvanometer, now the galvanometer is work as an ammeter. It is very easy and simple way. It is a very easy and simple technique how to work the galvanometer as an ammeter. Now simply, if the shunt resistance is connected parallel with moving coil galvanometer, so galvanometer work as a ammeter. You get it? Okay. So now let's see here. So which amount of shunt resistance, that is low resistance, okay, but how many amount of shunt resistance is connected parallel with moving coil galvanometer, and then after they work as ammeter? So initially we find out the value of S. So how many amount of shunt resistance is connected with moving coil galvanometer and they work as a ammeter? Okay, so let's see here. So I be the total electric current and they passing through the junction. Okay, when the electric current reaches at the point of junction, they will be split. The half electric current passing through the galvanometer and remaining current passing through the shunt resistance. It means that the total electric current will be denoted by I, and this is equal to Ig plus Is. This current will be split here. The same equation we are definitely find out with the help of Kirchhoff's first law, law of junction. We know that their sign conventions, the electric current moving towards the junction is positive and electric current is moving away from the junction, that is negative. It means what? It means I is moving towards the junction, that is positive. So I is the positive. Ig is moving away, Is is moving away from the junction, so that is negative. So negative Ig, negative Is, this is equal to 0. Okay, this is the statement of the Kirchhoff's first law, law of junction, right now. So it means that we find out I is equal to, what is this? Ig plus Is. The same equation we can write here, I is equal to Ig plus Is. So we are determined the value of Is. So how many electric current passing through the shunt resistance? So Is is equal to, so what is the electric current? So I minus Ig, because the half Ig electric current will passing through the galvanometer, and what is the remaining? So I minus Ig. So here I minus Ig be the electric current passing through the shunt resistance. So Is is equal to I minus Ig. But we know that we find out the value of S because we determine how many amount of shunt resistance is connected parallel with moving coil galvanometer and they work as a ammeter, right now. So if we find out the value of S, you remember that their galvanometer and the shunt resistance both are connected parallel. It means that their potential difference is exactly similar. Right now, if their potential is similar, so it means that the potential of G is exactly equal to the potential of S. Their potentials are exactly similar because they are connected in parallel. Okay, so if their potentials are equal, so we know that as per Ohm's law, potential will be denoted by V is equal to IR, electric current into the resistance, right now. So what is the potential of galvanometer whose resistance will be denoted by G and electric current is passing Ig. So it means that G Ig. So what is this? This is the potential of G, and this is equal to, what is the potential of S? So electric current passing through them is Is and the resistance will be denoted by S. So simply S into Is. So this is the potential of S. But we know that Is is equal to I minus Ig. So it means that G Ig, this is equal to, S will be same, but Is is equal to, we can write here I minus Ig. So what is the value of S? So we have determined the value of S. So S is equal to, so that is Ig, this is G, and divided by I minus Ig. Okay, so we find out the S is equal to, let's see here, Ig divided by I minus Ig, okay, in the bracket, and we can separate the G, that is multiply with G. So this is the value of S. This value of shunt resistance is connected parallel with moving coil galvanometer. So then after the galvanometer work as a ammeter. You remember that. Okay. So after that we are discussed their cases. Okay. That is very important cases we are discussed. The first important case we are discussed here, if the n times Okay, the electric current I is passing n times through the galvanometer. Let's see the first case. If electric current I is passing n times through the galvanometer, what it means? It means that electric current I is passing n times to the galvanometer. So it means that I is equal to n times Ig. So what is the value of shunt resistance? What is S? So let's see here the value of S. S is equal to, so now Ig divided by I, but I is equal to what? Nig minus Ig, or what is this, into G. So Ig get common here, so therefore S is equal to Ig whole divided by Ig get common, so remaining n minus 1 into the G. So Ig get cancel, so we find out S is equal to G upon n minus 1. So this is the value of shunt resistance is connected parallel with moving coil galvanometer. They work as an ammeter, but if we measure the n times electric current passing through the galvanometer, due to the n times electric current, so this is the value of shunt resistance. Okay, S is equal to G upon n minus 1. So actually we know that Is be the electric current passing through the shunt resistance right now. So Ig is the electric current passing through the galvanometer. If Ig electric current passing through the galvanometer, so what is the value of Is? Is is equal to I minus Ig. So exactly similar, if Is electric current passing through the shunt resistance, so the remaining current passing through the galvanometer, so this current will be denoted by I minus Is as per same. Okay, so I minus Is is the electric current passing through the galvanometer, and with the help of this we are determined the value of Is. So how many the capacity of shunt resistance, so it means that how many electric current passing through the shunt resistance, so we find out Is. Okay, so actually we know that the electric current passing through the galvanometer is I minus Is. By using the same equation, I is equal to Ig plus Is, so we also find out the value of Ig. So Is is equal to what? I minus Ig. So what is Ig? So Ig is equal to I minus Is. So this is the value of electric current passing through the galvanometer, and this is the value of electric current they passing through the shunt resistance. So by using the same relation, and this relation will be denoted by G Ig, and this is equal to S Is. So by using the same relation, now we are determined the value of Is. But here we can put the value of Ig. So G will be exactly similar, and Ig, what is Ig? I minus Is, and what is equal to S into Is. Okay, so multiply the same. So Gi minus Gis, and this is equal to Sis. So what is the value of Gi? So Gi is equal to, so equal to what? Sis, and this minus Gis get here, after that equal, so we can write here plus Gis. So Is get common here, so it means that Gi, this is equal to Is get common, and we find out S plus G. So we find out Is, so therefore Is is equal to, what we find out? We find out Gi and divided by S plus G. So it means that therefore Is upon I, this is equal to G upon S plus G. So this is the fraction of electric current, the total fraction of electric current they passing through the shunt resistance. So Is upon I is equal to G upon S plus G. So this is the total fraction of electric current passing through the shunt resistance. So this is very easy and simple concept of galvanometer work as an ammeter. I think you remember that, and you better experience with the help of galvanometer. Easily we are converted due to the very small modification, so galvanometer as an ammeter. So the last concept from this chapter, galvanometer as a voltmeter. Okay, so galvanometer as a voltmeter, this is last concept from this chapter, and that is very important concept. So galvanometer as a voltmeter, actually we know that galvanometer is a device, and with the help of this we are measure a very small amount of electric current, and you know that very well. The very small amount of potential difference is also measured with the help of galvanometer, near about 10 raised to power minus 6 volt. That is very small potential difference we can measure with the help of galvanometer. And we know that voltmeter, with the help of voltmeter we are measure the very large amount of potential difference. So as same as when we converted galvanometer into an ammeter, the same modification will be here, and due to this modification now we try to modify the galvanometer as a voltmeter. So initially when the galvanometer is converted into the voltmeter, so their voltage measuring capacity will be increases. That is very essential. And you remember that if the resistance of the given galvanometer or any wire, imagine that if the resistance will be decreases, their current will be increases, and if the resistance will be increases, so their current will be decreases. Now let's see, if the resistance increases, so the current will be decreases right now, and if the resistance will be decreases, so current will be increases. It is very important concept. But if the resistance will be increases, their potential is also increases. Right now, if the potential increases, so the current decreases, but the resistance is also increases. It means that potential and current both are depends upon resistance. If the resistance high, so their potential is also high, but the current is low. But if the resistance is low, so current get high and potential get low. Right now, so with the help of this, now when the galvanometer is converted into the voltmeter, so initially their voltage measuring capacity will be increases. And what is the actual method to their voltage measuring capacity will be increases? So they are discussed with the help of this circuit diagram. So initially we are draw the circuit diagram, and after that with the help of this diagram we are explain the same. So how galvanometer work as a voltmeter. Let's we can draw the circuit diagram. So galvanometer as a voltmeter. Let's see here. This is the resistance R. So their total potential will be denoted by V. Okay. So the potential of X, this is denoted by Vx, and potential of G, that is denoted by Vg. The electric current passing through the galvanometer, that is Ig. Okay, this is the circuit diagram, and with the help of this diagram we are explaining the same how to work galvanometer as a voltmeter. Let's see here, we can explain the same. Now when the galvanometer work as a voltmeter, so with the help of galvanometer we are measure very small amount of potential difference, and with the help of voltmeter we are measure the large amount of potential difference. So when the galvanometer work as a voltmeter, if the galvanometer work as a voltmeter, so initially their voltage measuring capacity will be increases, and according to the same concept, you know that if their voltage measuring capacity will be increases, that's why we can draw we are connected here resistance R. Okay, and here the resistance is connected parallel with moving coil galvanometer. When the resistance is connected parallel, so simply the resistance will be increases. Now let's see here, when the resistance is connected series, so the resistance will be decreases. We are observed the same in the previous point, that is galvanometer as an ammeter, but here the resistance are connected in parallel, and when the resistance is connected in parallel, so simply their resistance will be increases, and when the resistance increases, so their potential is also increases. It means that the voltage will, maximum amount of voltage will be increases through the galvanometer. But you know that when the maximum amount of potential difference is passing through the galvanometer, so simply it is possibility to damage the coil of the galvanometer. So that's why one another high value of resistance X, let's see here, this X is the high value of resistance, is connected in series with galvanometer. When they connected in series, so simply their potential will be decreases. Okay, because their resistance, high value of resistance X is connected in series with the galvanometer. So simply when the resistance, any resistance are connected in series, their resistance will be decreases, and when the resistance decreases, so potential is also decreases. It means that when this high value of resistance is connected in series with galvanometer, they protect for the damage of coil of the moving coil galvanometer, and easily they work as a voltmeter. The maximum amount of potential difference we are measure with the help of the voltmeter. Okay, so now let's see here. So how many amount of X, that is a high value of resistance, is connected in series? So the galvanometer work as a voltmeter. So initially we find out the value of X. So how many amount of X will be connected there? So first of all, we have discussed the concept of galvanometer as a voltmeter. If, let's see here, according to this diagram, if the high value of resistance X is connected in series with moving coil galvanometer, so galvanometer work as a voltmeter. You remember that. Now here high value of resistance X is connected in series with moving coil galvanometer, so galvanometer work as a voltmeter. And the previous point, you remember that if the small value, that is low value, low resistance, that is shunt resistance is connected parallel with moving coil galvanometer, so galvanometer work as a ammeter, and here we are connected in series. So how many amount of resistance is connected in series with galvanometer? So we find out the value of X. Actually the total potential passing through the given circuit will be denoted by V. The total potential will be denoted by V. So this is equal to the same potential V will be passing through the galvanometer, voltmeter right now, and we know that this total potential will split between two here. The Vx is the potential through the X and Vg is the potential through the G. It means that V is equal to what? Vx and also plus Vg, you know. So V is equal to Vx plus Vg. So this is the total potential passing through the voltmeter. But actually we know that as per Ohm's law, so V is equal to what is this? IR, electric current into the resistance. Their product is potential difference. So let's see here, this V is equal to, okay, so V is equal to what we find here? So Vx. So what is the value of Vx? Let's see here, Vx, the electric current will be denoted by Ig and the resistance will be denoted by X. So this is Vx plus Vg. So the electric current is also denoted by Ig and the resistance of the galvanometer will be denoted by G. Okay, so V is equal to what? V is equal to IR right now. So we find out X. So the take outside Igx, this is equal to, what is equal to? So IR and this is minus Igg. So what is the value of X? So X is equal to IR minus Igg, what is divided by Ig. Okay, so therefore X is equal to IR. IR means what? Potential V minus Igg and divided by Ig. So take the separate dividation. So when we take the separate dividation, so X is equal to V upon Ig minus Igg upon Ig. So this Ig get cancelled here, and we find out the X, high value resistance X, is equal to V upon Ig minus G. So this is the high value of X is connected in series with moving coil galvanometer. So simply the galvanometer work as a voltmeter. So this is the value of X. X is equal to V upon Ig minus Vg. Now after that their cases, their first and last case. So when, let's see here, the total potential will be denoted by V, but when the total potential is n times passing through the galvanometer, if the total potential is passing n times through the galvanometer, what it means? It means that the total potential V is passing n times through the potential of galvanometer. So it means that V is equal to nVg. So what is the value of X? So let's see here. So X is equal to V. What is V? V is equal to nVg and divided by what is this? Ig. So divided by Ig, and what is this? Minus G. Okay. So Vg upon Ig. What is Vg upon Ig? What is Vg? Vg is the potential of galvanometer. And you know that the potential of galvanometer is denoted by, what is the potential of galvanometer? So potential means what? Current into resistance. So the resistance of galvanometer will be denoted by G and electric current will be denoted by Ig. It means that Vg is equal to Ig into G. So what is the value of capital G? So capital G is equal to Vg upon Ig. So put the value of G from this equation. Okay. So Vg upon Ig. Let's see, this Vg upon Ig is equal to G. So we find out X. X is equal to N. Vg upon Ig is equal to what? G minus what? G. So G get common here. So we find out X is equal to G into N minus 1. So this is the value of high value resistance X if the n times the potential passing through the galvanometer. So simply galvanometer work as a voltmeter. Okay. So that is very simple and easy concepts we are discussed according to the chapter current electricity. And you remember that it is very easy and very simple chapter according to board examination, according to NEET examination. So theoretically here the total chapter is over, but in the next lecture definitely we are discuss about their exercise due to test book. Okay, so their exercise we are discuss in next lecture. So we can stop here. Here the total chapter will be over. Okay.